No, but actually, what I know that if it does feel like this is me kind of shitting all over Amber Heard, but I will say one thing about one thing about that nightmare sequence.
Actually,
One thing about that nightmare sequence
I'm not shitting on you.
She might shit on your bed first, though.
She's terrible in that scene. She's terrible in it. And what she's I will defeat all people. And then she's going around with 2 bloody boxes of water. I'm like, so you're only useful if you carry around 2 bloody boxes of water in a fucking nightmare.
But she's wearing the shit out of that suit, though, son.
Yeah, that's not an excuse. Her character in that scene is useless.
It's showtime.
It's showtime. How you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to Small Screen Stories. And yes, today we will be talking a bit about Amber Heard, a bit about Elon Musk. Not too much. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen with these sorts of shows? Before I get started, if you can like and subscribe, that'd be wonderful. If you could, as I said in my Michael Caine voice, can you gear up that clip, James? We do have James today.
I was already on it.
You're already on it. Brilliant. Go. Press the button.
Go over there and hit the fucking like button. All right? You hit it now. You motherfucking hit the fucking like. I just told you to hit the motherfucking like button. So you got to do it right now. Do it.
I need to do a better version of that impression, I have to say. Yeah, if you've ever watched, there's a really good show called The Trip, which has a Welsh actor in it called Rob Brydon and an English actor in it called Steve Coogan. And they play themselves, and they do a lot of impressions. One of the things, I think it's Rob Brydon that does the evolution of Michael Caine's voice over the years. Started out being very, very energetic. You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. And then, as he got older and started drinking more, probably smoking more as well, who knows with Michael Caine, his voice started getting very deep. I'm not going to bury another Wayne, Master Bruce. I am not going to do it. And, that is the trip. That is basically the trip.
How many more of these?
I got a lot more. I have got a lot more. I've got my my Matt Berry impression as well. I like doing impressions. They're not very good, but they bring me joy. Hopefully, they'll bring you joy. They're a bit weird, and I like doing them. But today, I've also got an impression of Amber Heard. Apparently, that's one that I do, and that is a very strange one. I'm going to say. Let's have a look and say hi to everyone in the chat. It's a bit of a weird way to open the show, but it's a bit of a weird show today. We're not talking about DC stuff. Well, you probably will do a bit, but the main.
It's like fuck it,
Exactly as Christopher Nolan said. It's like fuck it. Let's just fucking hell. Let's not talk about Warner Brothers anymore. But DLW is in the chat, says, "What's up?" Dropping a like. Lol. You hit that bleeping button. We'll try to catch you later. Well, thank you very much for hitting the like button, for hitting that fucking like button. Fucking hit it now. And that goes into more Danny Dyer impression now. I can do Danny Dyer as well if you guys know who he is. AEC is in the comments, says, "Yo, what's up, DLW? We're early, huh?" So so hopefully you can come back because we did start the show a tiny bit late today. Who else? We have Jedi Master EJ says, "What's up, Edward? I am doing very well." And Alex Doon is here. He's laughing. I'm wondering whether I don't know what he's laughing at. And then Eddie Gomez is in the chat. Eddie with all the questions says, "I think John Walker will join."
Hello there.
Hello there. Hello, Eddie. I do believe you're right. I do think that John Walker will join the Thunderbolts. Again, I don't have any official information on that. This is just an opinion, mainly because I'd love to see Wyatt Russell. That's a name I really struggle to say. Wyatt Russell, son of Kurt Russell, and I believe Goldie Hawn. So someone that was started off life pretty well, and he's doing very well in the MCU now. He's playing John Walker, and if you're up to date with The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you'll realize why people are really talking about him a lot and talking about his version of Captain America, which is basically a US agent, but it's brilliant, and he's doing really, really well. And I think he would be part of he'd be an interesting addition to the Thunderbolts. Let's see if that happens. Who else do we have in the chat?
Ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
There you go. That's my that's my Arnie impression. Titileni says, "When Steppenwolf held Amber Heard against the wall, I thought for a minute he was going to say for Johnny Depp." No. I honestly don't think Zack Snyder would ever do that. I think Snyder's pretty much he's a big fan of Amber Heard, isn't he, Zack? But who knows? Who knows? Bryden's Kane impression is legendary. Yes, Alex, it really is. So you're obviously more Bryden fan than Steve Coogan because they do a bit of a fight in that.
Another human traffic fan. Nice.
Yes.
Now, fucking Danny Dyer. Now, that's more like Danny Dyer, isn't it? It's more Danny Dyer there. So I'll fucking nut you.
It's the kind of shit he says in those movies. He's now presenting he's in the EastEnders now in the UK, which is a really bad, like, kind of, it's a Philip, you get all sorts of things today now that I'm not talking about DC. Philip Castillo is in the chat, says, yo, what's up? What do you have for us today? Well, today, what do I have for you guys? It's a bit, basically there was...
Thanks for the introduction.
I mean, obviously, I think
Elon is all frozen today. He never got so much press attention.
I mean, yeah, there you go. That's what we have today. We have a chat about Elon Musk, about Amber Heard, and the infamous Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, that's how I pronounce her name. A lot of people pronounce it differently, but I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of Ghislaine Maxwell. If you haven't heard of her, you've probably heard of, we'll just call him J.E., because I am a bit worried about mentioning the person's name. It's Epstein. We're talking about Epstein. You gotta be very quiet when you talk about Epstein.
Wow. What can I say?
Exactly. What can you say? But basically, yeah. Sorry, got Raj in the chat as well. And, I've seen that he said underneath, isn't Danny Dyer presenting a game show as well? Yes, in the UK, he's presenting The Wall, and it's literally you just hear him looking at a bunch of balls come down a wall and going, "Is it white? Is it wrong?" My wife is Italian, and the version of The Wall in Italy is much, much better because you actually win genuine money. Because The Wall is on BBC in the UK, you win nothing if you're on that show. Most people just get, it's just a stupid show. It's such a stupid show. Well, don't shit on EastEnders. Okay, so Danzig is a fan of EastEnders. I will give you a little background to my career. I used to be I was a TV reporter, senior TV reporter at The Express. And when I was there in the UK, the main thing I had to do was cover fucking soaps. So apologies for the swear words, but EastEnders, I will say EastEnders is probably the best of them. They're all terrible, though. I'm sorry, Dan. I had to watch them every day. They were awful. Having to watch that and try and come up with articles for that. And if you know The Express, I'm pretty sure, Dan, you know The Express. You know the sort of crap we used to come up with for that. But you know what? It was a decent learning experience, and I gained some pretty interesting contacts from that job. Then went to work for the Daily Mirror, which is owned by the same company. But you know what? It's fine. It's in the past. I now get to write about stuff I actually enjoy, which is fun. Right, let's go on. Who else is in the chat after that little history about my career? James, producer James. Who else? Who do you want to highlight? Good afternoon, everyone. South Cali guy. I hope you're having fun in South California. Who else do we have? We have. Am I the only one that liked Amber Heard in the Snyder Cut? You know what? Apart from that final scene, I actually thought she was all right, and also her accent, which is weird. You've got to admit that the accent was jarring. It was really jarring. Why was it jarring? Because it's not the same as the again, I can't really remember how she sounded in Justice League, but I don't remember her having such a awfully just terrible British accent, really. I don't remember that. And then you watch Aquaman, and in Aquaman she just has her ordinary accent, and you know that it was just that her in that final scene was a bit jarring. The scene with Steppenwolf was actually really cool. I thought that was a really cool scene. So there were elements of it that I liked and elements that I didn't like. It's just that final scene, final sequence, and her especially in that I thought was bad. The sequence isn't bad. It's just her in that. It was just weird. Right, who else do we have?
Do you think AC is a Nikola Tesla fan? Oh,
actually, talking about AC, that will be in the Amber Heard story in a bit. I'll explain why. Who else do we have in the chat? Let's go. I'm just here to defend Amber and all 13 of her accents. Yes, you are. And Alex Jean says The Express, question mark, and emoji face. You know what? If you're a journalist trying to work anywhere, it's really hard. And The Express offered me a job. and it was in TV, so it was relatively close to what I wanted to do. I became a senior reporter there, and as Dan says, it's not the Sun, but you can't always pick and choose where you work. Not everybody can work for the Guardian. Not everyone can work for the Independent. I used to work for Shortlist as well. That was a company I worked for a while as well. So I suppose that's a bit better in a weird way. But then again, at Shortlist, I just used to write about baked beans all the time. So, there's a difference. And then, you end up starting your own thing, which is small screen.
Hamada burger.
And now I do things like that. I say Hamada burger like that. So that's now my career. What else do we have in the chat? It said, "No, I understand. I'm just pulling the proverbial piss." Yes, you are. Well, it's fine. Honestly, it's fine. I understand it. But it is, it's just the way it is in this industry, unfortunately. Amber and Musk, a drugstore cologne. John McIntyre, good one. That's a very good one. So who else do we have? Yes, Sean Harrigan says, like button time, click it. So why don't we
over there and hit the fucking like button? All right, you hit it now. You motherfucking hit the fucking like. I just told you to hit the motherfucking like button. Hit the motherfucking like button. Do it now. Do it. Right, let's do it. If you've done it, that'd be great. That's great. Thank you very much. Right, so should we actually talk about what we're meant to be talking about today? And that's that Amber Heard and Elon Musk reportedly connected to Ghislaine Maxwell. So Ghislaine Maxwell is currently in a prison cell somewhere because she was on the run for quite a while. Basically, she's connected to Jeffrey Epstein, and she was eventually found. I think she was living in I can't remember where, in a house somewhere, quite a nice house. People thought were trying to find her all over the world. There's a podcast called, I think it's Finding Ghislaine, it's called, which is a really good podcast, actually. So if you're interested in that stuff, listen to it. There is a Netflix show as well about Epstein. If you're interested in that, watch it. It's a horrendous story. The finding of her was actually quite interesting because you've got quite a lot of detective work and police work going on there. That's quite interesting. A really good investigative piece, actually. Talking of journalism. So she is currently in prison, and now she is pending trial. It looks like she might actually be let off, weirdly enough, because there are a whole load of legal reasons why, and that I won't go into. But basically, what's happening now?
What?
Yeah, I know, it's really upsetting. Don't get me started on all that rubbish. It's really weird. The fact that she might get off is just really annoying.
Call it, Sanchez, or you'll get a knuckle upper.
But basically, there are a lot of people now that are very, very desperately trying to distance themselves from Ghislaine, and one of those people is Elon Musk. Because there was a picture of Elon with Ghislaine that was taken, I believe it was taken at the Variety. I think actually I have to get that up. Actually, I think he talked about it. That it was he said she
Jesus, is that true? That's delightful. What is that actually? That actually happened. Of course it happened. I think this is a reflection of how just. Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. That's the live footage of Elon Musk being told it's not, but it would be funny if it said the live footage of him being told that he was in a photo with Ghislaine Maxwell. You could probably. I mean, it'd be best for me to have teed this up earlier. Maybe I should. I'll try and share my screen. Actually, is what wow. Right, there you go. So that's the photo, and then then after that, Elon Musk is claiming that he doesn't know who she is. He's never met her. Well, this photo kind of says otherwise. He did meet her, but again, he's saying.
So that's Jesus, is that true? That's.
There you go. And then basically, what's happened is that there's a bit of a weird website called Crazy Days and Nights. I think it's called, and it's quite infamous. So first off, I have to say that Crazy Days and Nights is a website that you should not go on there believing everything that's on there. They literally say in their disclaimer that it's like most of the stuff is rumors, speculation, and fabrication is like literally what they say on their disclaimer on their website, which is insane. Because basically back in like 2012, I think it was, a lot of stuff was coming out of this website and people actually using it. It's actually quite an interesting insight into the Scoop game. People were using it and thinking that this person was an insider. And this person called Enty, E-N-T-Y, was basically... Sorry.
One of Elon's satellites is tracking you and James right now. I really hope so, man.
We're probably going to go off the air. That's probably what's going to happen.
I really hope so. I really want to talk to Elon. Him and Kevin Feige in a room together. It'll be beautiful.
Oh, that would be brilliant. That would be brilliant. And in the comments, I see Alex June saying Robert Maxwell was a freak. Now, Robert Maxwell was the owner of the Daily Mirror, which is a company I used to work for, and he is kind of notorious there because, yes, he was a freak. And there's a lot of stuff that goes into into what was going on. So, yeah, honestly, her dad was weird, so she was probably messed up from the very beginning because of that sassafras. And I said it properly.
Hey, you got it right.
Yeah. To be fair, he's super rich, probably meets people all the time and doesn't remember. Exactly. So this is the thing. I was seeing this story in particular being put around by quite a lot of people, and basically saying, "Oh well, this is like the Elon Musk." I'll go into what they basically, because the names were changed in the post, and basically saying Elon Musk is connected to Ghislaine Maxwell. And then using this picture as evidence for that. And then he actually has already addressed this in the past, saying that he was photobombed.
Come on, don't bullshit me.
He meets a lot of people. Here, this is what he tweeted. He said, "Don't know Ghislaine at all. She photobombed me once at a Vanity Fair party several years ago. Real question is why Vanity Fair invited her in the first place. This would have been happening."
Excellent.
This photo would have been taken at a time when Ghislaine Maxwell was being invited to every single party, because basically she's a social climber. That's what she was. She was very, and people go on about Epstein's little black book. The little black book was actually Maxwell's black book of contacts. And then a lot of people have come out of this black book. Actually, incidentally, we had the site Small Screen a couple of months ago. Now, I probably shouldn't be talking about this, but I will do anyway.
Wait, there's more.
So we published an article which is based on leaked information by Anonymous. So if you know about Anonymous, then you'll know that Anonymous is they tend to
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, we're definitely gonna get cut off the air now.
Yeah. So they're a group of hackers, and they reportedly found information on Epstein and linking Epstein to Donald Trump. And we ran an article about it, and also added bits. Did another article about Naomi Campbell being in that little black book. So basically, all the lists of that. And then there was reports of. Yeah, I know we're going into it now. I'm opening up reports of Epstein and Maxwell, not Maxwell, and Donald Trump doing some rather horrible things to a minor, and that there was a court case, and apparently that's all. Reportedly, I'm going to have to say, supposedly true.
Wow.
So this stuff was all leaked, right? And I did two articles on it, one about Trump and one about Naomi Campbell and Tony Blair, who are also implicated in this book. And I ended up getting an email, from Naomi Campbell's publicists saying that if I didn't take the article down, then they will that I will be prosecuted. Basically, they will sue me. Was what they were saying at the time. And what ended up happening was the site got so much traffic from those two articles that I then couldn't go into the site to take the articles down. So it was a massive headache. And in the end, I had to get a friend of mine who also happens to be a coder and an IT guy to just take the site down entirely so that I wouldn't get hacked. In the end, we managed to get back into the site. It's very inside baseball what's going on now. But basically, to tell you, this is not something that I like to talk about because I've had issues with this sort of thing in the past. So, but again, I saw this going around.
Talking about the extraordinary consequences.
Yeah, I saw this going around and I thought, you know what, I need to kind of nail this in the butt, really, because people are saying that this is this site is first of all creditable. It's not credible. I can't speak tonight, and it's not. It really isn't. Crazy Days and Nights is honestly what they do is they just write nonsense, really, and we'll go into what they write and why. And for some reason, people thinking that they're talking about Amber Heard when they talk about a foreign-born madam. Potentially Ghislaine Maxwell, a technology CEO, Elon Musk, and a C-list actress. Now that's where people think that was Amber Heard, a C-list actress, a C+ list actress, sorry. And it's obvious that this post is talking about Ghislaine. That is pretty obvious. But anyway, here's what was written. It was in her purse. It was also actually long before the photo of AB. That's what they call this person. AB, a technology CEO, and AC, a foreign-born madam, if you will, was taken. So this is this is referring to the picture that was taken of Elon Musk and Ghislaine Maxwell. AB and AC actually went back a good 5 or 6 years prior to that photo being taken. They had met through an ex of AB, although at the time this blind took place, she was not an ex yet. So then it continues. They call it a blind on the website. I don't really understand why they do. AC, Ghislaine Maxwell, supposedly, was good at knowing what people wanted and took her time to get it right. It only took a few parties before she knew what kind of woman AB was attracted to, Elon Musk, and to several of his other vices. As she had to do, all she had to do was reel him in. She did so. She destroyed a marriage, but AC Maxwell didn't care about that kind of thing. It was business for her. It was business, and her business has always been one of favors. Those owing her favors, and AC Maxwell collecting on those favors repeatedly. So then, basically, at this moment in time, it's a bit difficult to see where Amber Heard comes into this, but and honestly, she doesn't. This isn't what I wanted to clear up is this post isn't actually talking about Amber Heard, but people seem to think it is. So then it goes on about a foreign-born actress. And here it is. Enter AD, supposedly Amber Heard. At the time this happened, AD had not yet landed her big break. She is foreign-born. So this is the thing that no one seems to have picked up on. She is foreign. Amber Heard is born in Texas, so she's from Austin, I believe, originally. Probably B plus list now. So Amber Heard, I think, is more than B plus list. Back then, she was probably C plus list. She was promised her big break and was given about 10K for hooking up with Elon Musk, supposedly. A hidden camera in her purse. AD is finally just talking about this now because she is afraid she did something wrong. The only thing she really did wrong was joining Elon Musk in doing lines of coke in between the pair having sex, and before sex and after sex. AC Ghislaine Maxwell called in a favor, and AD Amber Heard landed a job within a week and has been rising up the ladder since. So this isn't Amber Heard they're talking about. I mean, even though you probably will be looking into all of this and thinking, oh, this what's going on? Sassafras says, can we see where James is keeping all these memes and how he organizes them? I'm pretty sure it's asking the real questions here.
Yeah.
That's probably a difficult thing to do, let's be honest, because I don't think it's very organized, is it, James? He's desperate to get it organized. So basically, all of this to say, this story's been going around, and then honestly, and people have been saying that this is Amber Heard she's talking about, or the NT is talking about. Supposedly a lawyer, which again is not true. That was all debunked a long time ago. Whoever this is, they're just making stuff up. But maybe this story could actually be true. But again, I don't think it's talking about Amber Heard. I think it's talking about Tallulah Riley, who is actually one of Elon Musk's sorry, that's a weird way to say it, Musk's ex-wives, Tallulah Riley. I'm pretty sure that's who they're talking about, which is kind of weird. It's like, does this mean that Elon Musk and Tallulah Riley were put together by Ghislaine Maxwell? That's kind of what she did. She kind of got a kick out of putting relatively powerful people together, or in a weird way, like doing this so that she can get what she wanted out of them. But again, Elon Musk has repeatedly said that he does not know Ghislaine Maxwell. But at the moment, all of Hollywood and all of Silicon Valley as well, all people in positions of power, are desperately trying to distance themselves from her, because it's not a good look, is it? It's not a good look to be connected to her. So I suppose all of this is to say, well, even if you want this to be a salacious story about Amber Heard. Well, it's not, because this isn't Amber Heard. This is what in this post they're not talking about her at all. So I just wanted to clear that one up, really. So let's have a look at what's going on in the chat, shall we? After I've gone through that article, and actually, I'm really sorry. I absolutely butchered reading that, but I'm trying to read it on 2 different monitors. It's not very easy. It's not very easy to do that. Right, we got Kevin Feige saying, "I'm smarter than that." Of course he is. Of course he is. I'm pretty sure he's not connected to Ghislaine. Well, I hope not. AC says, "I'm Maxwell." Okay, there we go. AC is Maxwell. That's what I was referring to earlier. AC calling Amber a C-list actress is an insult to C-list actress. It was C+. It's C+ in the thing. Oh man, that's good. It's like Perez Hilton fake news. Well, yeah, that's exactly what that is. I think Crazy Days and Nights is kind of fake news. It is stuff that's probably, like, just from reading the article and you mentioning about Elon ex-wife, I agree with your conclusions. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is her. If this is genuine, again, let's be honest. I'm pretty sure that they are the person, the technology CEO they're referring to in the blind. What, I don't know why they call it that. If you do know, do tell me. It's a weird thing. I'm pretty sure that is Elon Musk they're referring to. I'm pretty sure the madam is Ghislaine Maxwell, because that's how she saw herself. She really wanted to be connected to the royals. Ended up being connected to Prince Andrew. So yeah, there was that she managed to do that in the end. Oh god, it's just, the story is so insane that you really couldn't come up with it. That's the whole thing about this.
So that's
Jeez, is that true?
That's delightful.
What is that actually happened?
Of course it happened. I think this is a reflection of how, like, just...
Oh my god.
That makes me crack up every time I watch that.
What was he actually doing? Was he just
it's
watching
so
memes?
Like Justin Roiland, Rick and Morty, he's trying to explain and sound smart, and Elon Musk is just having a good time being himself.
I know Elon Musk is weird, and it's probably true. Like, he did probably meet Ghislaine Maxwell. I mean, you got photographic evidence, but then again, in Hollywood, who didn't meet her? She met everybody. That's the whole thing about her. That's what she was. She was she was an enabler for many people. Yes, with Bill Clinton's still around. I don't know how, but he is still around. She enjoyed being connected to powerful people, and one of the most powerful people in the world. Even like that would have been at the relatively the beginning of his rise to fame and fortune. I think that probably would have been the time he was involved with PayPal. So that would have been around then,
before he had his Hollywood hair and everything.
Yeah, exactly. And before he ended up with Tulula Riley, and before he ended up with Amber Heard, which was a thing. They were together for a while. Alex June says, "I can't believe Elon Musk being a cokehead over Jeff Bezos, for example."
I think he drifted away from the coke, and he went more to LSD.
Well, Elon or Jeff Bezos?
Elon Musk. Yeah.
Пошли. Все вместе. Какие ваши доказательства? Cocainum.
Man, that is
such
a
you're being, someone is demanding you reply to them.
Okay, go on. Who is it? Hi, Neymar. How you doing? Reply me. How are you doing? Right, let's go into the comments a bit more. So we have
Wait, there's more.
Oh, hey Clint, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good. You just brought in randomly. That's what my producer does.
Ta-da!
Yeah. So how are you doing, Clint?
I'm doing good, man. I'm hanging out watching your show. I almost forgot that I was going to come on. I've been hanging out watching.
It's a bit of a weird one today, because we usually do stuff about Marvel and DC news, but the whole Maxwell case for me has always been quite interesting, and this thing was something I wanted to clear up, because I've been seeing a lot of people being like, "Oh my God, Amber Heard's connected to Maxwell." I'm not the biggest fan of Amber Heard's, but she's not connected to Maxwell. I don't think she would have ever been in that crowd. Yeah. Now, Musk is a different story. He's literally photographed with her, so that's a bit difficult to deny. But he did. Anyway, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm hanging out in Austin, Texas, and watching the show and doing my thing.
Cool. You look. You're in like a proper radio booth.
It's a green screen, man. I'm
Okay,
yeah.
all right, yeah. Because you got
I'm
some really good sound going on, which is not usually. Not everyone I talk to has good sound.
I'm a gear nerd, man. I'm an audio
Yeah.
engineer. I'm a musician. Started recording before I got into the video part of it. So of course I got good mics and stuff like that. But yeah, man, dude, this watching that, it's really weird. Because I think I used to know Amber Heard back long time ago. I'm from Austin, and there was a girl named Amber that used to come to our shows. My band that I used to be on, we were on Columbia Records, and used to play big shows here in Austin. And there was a girl named Amber Heard, and it didn't occur to me. And one day I saw a tabloid in a drugstore, and I read it, and I looked, and I was like, Amber Heard, Johnny, and I was like, Amber Heard. Wait a minute! I looked at her picture, and I'm like, wait a minute! And dude, I swear, I mean, I'm like 97. I could be wrong, but I'm 97% sure that I used to AOL Instant Messenger and like MySpace message her back and forth. She used to be a fan of my band, which is crazy. So don't be talking about Amber Heard, man, on my watch. I'm old.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, I didn't mean to go off on a rant, but yeah.
No, that's fine. That's what we like. I'm famous for my rants, and one of my rants is about no, but actually, what I know that if it does feel like this is me kind of shitting all over Amber Heard, but I will say one thing about one thing about that nightmare sequence. One thing about that nightmare sequence is
Not shitting on you.
She might shit on your bed first, though.
She's terrible in that scene. She's terrible in it. And what she's like, I will defeat all people. And then she's going around with two bloody boxes of water. I'm like, so you're only useful if you carry around two bloody boxes of water in a fucking nightmare.
But she's wearing the shit out of that suit, though, son.
Yeah, that's not an excuse. Her character in that scene is useless.
So that's one of my rants.
That's one of my favorites. I've seen that many times.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure you have. James loves to bring that up all the time. But
how many more of these?
That's what he does. That's his thing.
Yeah. Well, dude, thanks you guys for having me on, dude. I really enjoy a lot of YouTube shows and stuff, but you guys are always really fun. So I'm glad to be here.
Awesome, man. It's a good show. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
He cuts himself off. Oh man, seriously. No, but why don't you talk a bit about yourself and tell us tell us your story, tell us what you're doing now, and just you got a show of your own as well. Which I do.
My name's Clint Baker. I am a musician that was on Columbia Records. We were back in the Blink-182 Newfound Glory days, and we were on Columbia Records, toured all over the place for years. So I did that. And, I've done a lot of things. I've done stand-up, I've acted, I've done a lot of different things. But during the lockdown, during COVID, I started watching a bunch of really bad production. And I said, man, I could do better than that. So I got a bunch of equipment, started a YouTube channel, and it's called the Black Shirt Podcast. And we cover a lot of the same content that you guys do, nerd stuff, Star Wars, Marvel, DC. And it's just me and a buddy, and we just talk about fun stuff. So it's cool, and that's what I like about your show. I'll do chores around the house and listen to you guys, and it's like I'm hanging out with you guys. Sometimes I start chiming in. I go, dude, you're washing dishes right now. Come on. So.
That's great. That's. But I a couple of your shows as well, and it comes off as pretty similar to ours. It's people that just like talking about nerdy stuff, which is what we're all about. So it's like when Mikey's on and Sill's on, and like occasionally when James pops in for a second and then leaves. That's what we talk about. And one of the things that there you go. One of the things that I did think probably quite recently we were getting in danger of was oversaturation with DC stuff, I think. And one of the reasons is because there's a lot of news out there with the DC, especially with Warner Brothers, what's going on there. And I suppose we were kind of angling ourselves we were getting into an area that I didn't really want to be in, which was just constantly talking about one subject. But the thing is that it's the story is really interesting because the story of WarnerMedia specifically is interesting, and I'm and there she is. There's Ansanov. I'm lucky enough to know some people that have since left the company, and they're now talking. So a lot of people. And that's what's happening at WarnerMedia. that's literally what's happening. Let's go. I'll go into the comments pretty quickly, just so we can keep up with people. Who else? So we have Dan Zig says James with the best 2 tickets to the gun show. I thought that's exactly the thing I thought, James, when I saw you wearing that vest. Who else do we have? Well, this is James. No sleeves in summertime, baby. Is it the summertime in Canada? Is it ever summer in Canada? Every time you send
when the sun comes out, it's summertime.
Okay, cool. Who else do we have in the comments? We have AC sing a song. Oh man, honestly, two of the bands you mentioned, Blink 182 and Newfound Glory, are 2 of my favorite bands.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm a big. I was really into Blink 182 growing up in Sum 41. 2 actually bands I was lucky enough to see, and now it seems as though I've been getting kind of. I think there's been a bit of a revival.
I think so too.
Thing with Youngblood and what's his name? Machine Gun Kelly, is that his name? Machine Gun Kelly? I can't remember his name.
Yeah, Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a revival there. Travis, I think, led by Travis Barker. So that's really cool. Is that something you're still doing now?
I still do a little bit. I have a band that plays here in Austin. I'm in another band that I don't sing in. My best friend's a singer, and we actually tour in Europe. So next time,
cool.
maybe we get close to France. We can catch you at a show.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes there's a guy in the comments called Sax God, who's a saxophone player, and I've been talking to him about saxophones because that's something that I used to play. Don't play so much anymore.
I heard you yesterday. You play alto.
Yeah.
I actually play alto, tenor, and bari. I played
when
I was younger.
I was not brave enough to leave alto. I just kind of got into doing the saxophone, the alto sax, and then started teaching myself guitar, which is what everyone seems to do nowadays. Right, let's have a look at. I've got Freddie in the comments, who's my brother. What's up, everyone? Let's get 600 subs. That'd be brilliant if you could like and subscribe.
Yeah.
That'd be wonderful. That really helps. What else do we have? We have Suns Out, Guns Out. Alex Jr. is just loving in the chat, man. He's loving it in there. John McIntyre says Maple Leaf and Muscle Band. Dude, okay, James, I know you really like this. He likes highlighting comments.
No, you keep going back to the comments, but that's all they're talking about. We're talking about Canada. I don't understand what the big deal is not wearing sleeves on your t-shirt. They're so constricting when summer comes out. I went to Comic-Con and we were at a very expensive hotel, and I met my cousin. He goes, "I bet you he's going to walk through this lobby without shirt sleeves on his t-shirt," and that's what I did. Yeah,
that's
because I'm channeling my 50s greaser. All right.
Yeah.
So I suppose we should get onto some nerdy stuff, really. Let's
leave the comments alone if you don't want to talk about me. Okay.
Okay. All right. I think one of the things I wanted to get your opinion on actually was the Hugh Jackman news. From if you watched last night's stream, you heard what Mikey had to say about Hugh Jackman. That there is a slight possibility he could be playing Wolverine again in the MCU. Is that something you'd like to see? And what did you think?
I would love to see that, man. Hugh Jackman any day of the week, put him in there. I had a theory that he was going to pop up in Endgame and help save the world, and that's how they were going to introduce mutants. And when it was over, I was like, "Where is he? Come on, where is?" He never got there, but I would love that. It's because it's hard to think of anybody else who could portray Wolverine as good as Hugh Jackman. I mean, it's just it's hard, and I'm sure
you'd make a good Wolverine there,
dude. Somewhere there's some pictures of me actually where I did Wolverine for Halloween. I was gonna say on Facebook, but I'm worried that you'll go pull those things up, make a meme out of me. But
sure you'll do that. Yeah, don't tell him where it is.
Yeah,
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
But no, you're right. There aren't that many people that could play Wolverine. I mean, when you're thinking about, I've seen a lot of people fan casting Wolverine. And the names that come up tend to be the same ones. There's, the Taron Egertons, the Dacre Montgomery comes up quite a bit. They'd be quite interesting. It'd be quite good if Dacre Montgomery could do it, actually, because, Aussie, another Australian actor, that'd be quite cool. I think he's actually really good. He's in Stranger Things and he was in Power Rangers. And the thing is that the idea that Mikey was talking about yesterday actually, to me, sounds really good. So the idea is that that it would be in a future Deadpool film, in kind of a Deadpool, bit of a road kind of buddy movie, and that's something I think a lot of people would like to see. Kind of Logan and Deadpool together, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman finally getting their wish and being in a movie together, which is something they've wanted to do for a very, very long time. Another idea that Mikey was talking about, which I'm going to be honest, I don't know much about the character. It's kind of a different version of Wolverine turning up in the MCU, like a patch Is it? He's just called Patch, I think, the Patch
Patch,
version of
yeah.
Wolverine. So, and that's something that I wasn't so familiar with when Mikey was talking about it. I'm always honest on this channel. I don't know every single detail about the Marvel comics. Mikey does.
Yeah,
Mikey is someone that is very.
I'm the same way. I don't know all the deep cuts. That's what my buddy Dirk's for, you know. And he'll be like, no, here you go, bud. But like, I always thought Tom Hardy could pull it off before he got cast as Venom. He would have been fantastic because you see him go crazy in some of his roles. He would have been really good. But
Tom Hardy's one of those actors that's like you think, oh, he'd be so good at everything. Like he would have been really good as well as Bond, I think. And there were those rumors that he had been cast as Bond, but he hasn't. He hasn't been cast as Bond, and he probably won't be, unfortunately. But he would be perfect actually as a Wolverine. But they might want to skew a bit younger. I don't know. They might want someone that can be there for a number of years. That they can, you know, they don't want to. I mean, what? Tom Hardy's now nearing 40 now. Must be almost 40. So it's probably a bit old.
Yeah, they're going to want somebody they can have hang around for at least 10 years, you know what I mean? And not just like 2 movies and then he's getting too old. I think that's I'm pretty sure that's why Hugh Jackman only agreed to possibly do one more if he does one at all, you know. But,
Patch was Wolverine got sick of being in the X-Men for a while, so he donned an eye patch as disguise, went to Japan, Madripoor, and then went on some adventures, and that's where he met I think it's Miko or Mariko. And then the Grey Hulk was there as Mr. Fix-It, and then he went back to Vegas, and they had adventures there too.
But that's
some
the thing,
New Mutants in there too.
That's the thing about Marvel Comics is that people tend to forget that actually the comics were actually quite dark and quite kind of exploring a lot of adult themes and stuff like that in those comics.
And DC was very bright and hopeful.
Yeah,
and
it was.
PG.
Yeah,
and then they split them for the movies.
Well, recently DC's gone into this really, really dark zone for their comics, and especially with their Batman comics. It says they want them as dark as they possibly can be, and I think that started especially with Alan Moore when he came in and started writing Batman, and that kind of changed everything. And that changed everything for me. That was why Batman for me was always that was my in a weird way for comics. That was I think the very first comic I read.
You mean Frank Miller?
No, it was year one.
Alan Moore wrote Batman.
Yes, you're right. It was Frank Miller wrote year one, wasn't it?
Yeah, Frank Miller did year one, and then
Alan Moore did Swamp Thing, and that was it. So Alan Moore did Swamp Thing, and he wrote, and he wrote Watchmen was the one I was thinking of as well. The very first comic I ever read was year one, and that was Frank Miller, wasn't it? I'm not lying. I'm not. James, come back.
Lie.
Honestly, James, you fucker, you can't do that. You can't just say you're lying and then fuck off.
Actually, Sassafras is right.
The killing joke. It was Alan Moore.
Didn't that? Okay, Sassafras. Let me look it up. When did that? That come out before or after year one?
Ooh, I don't know. I think year one would have come out before the Killing Joke. And year one was the first comic book I read.
You lie.
I'm not lying. At least it's the first one. Okay, maybe Tintin was the first comic I ever read, and that's really going back. But no, it was the Killing Joke came out before. That's right. I know. Apparently, Danzig said after year one, so the Killing Joke.
You lie.
Anyway. Do some googling. See what fact check us. Come on. We've got Fatal J in the chat. And actually, I agree with Fatal J on this. He says Killing Joke is overrated. I actually do think it's overrated. And actually, Alan Moore doesn't like the Killing Joke. He actually said that. I don't think he really likes anything, though, to be honest, Alan Moore. But yeah, so the story that was that that Mikey dropped the other day. He's dropped a lot actually in the last couple of days. To be honest, it's quite difficult to keep track of what the scoops that he's dropping. But the main one was that Kevin Feige and Hugh Jackman have been talking about the possibility of bringing him back as Wolverine in the MCU, and the way they're going to do this is by having him play an alternate version of the character, so it wouldn't be the same character that he played in Logan. And that's something that he is very, very Hugh Jackman is very proud of is that film, and he doesn't want to ruin it by coming in and appearing as Wolverine again in a lesser movie. So there's that as well. What did you make of Logan?
I was like, I don't blame him for being worried about tainting that, because it's a masterpiece. That's such a good movie. It's like I've had conversations where they talk about comic book movies not being real cinema. Scorsese and people like that say that, and I'm like, go watch Logan, and if you don't think that's real cinema, you're a heartless bastard. You know what I mean? That's like I cried in that movie, and then I made sure nobody was looking. But I love Logan, and if I can get him back, cool. I think a different version of him would be cool. You know what I mean? And I think it'll be really fun to see him and Ryan Reynolds running around together, because they're buddies in real life. You know what I mean? They're all over social media from time to time. And so I think they would have fun doing it, and I think it would shine through the movie. So.
And I think you're completely right. I completely understand why Hugh Jackman wouldn't want to appear as Wolverine again because of Logan. Because Logan, I think you're right. Like, if you're talking about cinema, genuine cinema, then Logan is that. And that would probably be the one film that I'd want to show Martin Scorsese, and being like, actually, comic book films can be cinematic and can be what you consider to be cinema. I know a lot of people might say Joker, but actually, I think Martin Scorsese might look at Joker and say, dude, you just copied everything I did. so I do.
Hey, Eddie.
Yeah.
You get nice cutting out the bit of the end. But yeah, that is a brilliant. That honestly, Venom isn't one of my favorite movies, but I do like his performance a lot in it. I think it was
fun.
Weird. Yeah. It was fun. It was a really fun film, and that his take on it was definitely something different. So Danzig says, I think Mikey's going on Sill Show Rebat Fleck tonight. Is that right?
No, that'll be tomorrow on Super Team Megaforce. And we're going to have two special guests.
Super Team Megaforce.
We're going to have Fatal J. Fatal J is going to be in the house tomorrow night. And we're going to have Yara Wayne from the Snyder Cut movement on. So that's tomorrow, Danzig.
Awesome. That's something to look forward to. It's going to be probably a very late one for me again, but that's fine. So one of the other bits of news that I wanted to get your opinion on was the whole Christian Bale replacing Michael Keaton news. It's not really news; it's a rumor at the moment. I want to make that perfectly clear to everyone. The most recent kind of this has been coming from a lot of different people. So I've seen it from Daniel Rickman, who makes appearances. I'm going to say cameo appearances on our show. He doesn't actually turn on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Now that is James trying to make me stop talking about Daniel Rickman. But the other place is We Got This Covered. And if you know We Got This Covered, take it with a pinch of salt. But they're saying that that apparently WarnerMedia, or Warner Brothers, is looking at bringing in Christian Bale and to replace Michael Keaton in the upcoming Flash movie. And one of the reasons one of the reasons this might happen, and again, it's a might. According to Grace Ranoff, it's not true. She did say that today. I do have to put that out there. Apparently, the reason is because Michael Keaton is worried about COVID. And if you know anything about what's happening in the UK, there are a lot of cases in the UK, but people are being vaccinated. But the thing is that the government has rather, I don't know, wisely or not, has decided to reopen everything. So I think cinemas are going to be reopening in a couple of weeks, actually, in the UK. Now, when that happens, what tends to happen is that infection rates go up. So I'm pretty sure that if Michael Keaton's already worried about COVID when everything was locked down, I think he'd be a bit more worried about it if everything's open. So I think that's the rationale behind that. But what do you make of that?
I think it would be great. Christian Bale can do no wrong. I mean, he can do wrong, but like I just mean yelling at sound guys or lighting guys.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it would be fantastic. I almost feel like he wouldn't do it. Something about him, I feel like he just thinks he's like a creme de la creme, and he takes everything seriously, and is an artist. And to me, it seems like a cheap cameo for him to do. I don't feel like he would do it, but I would love to see it because it would be great, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, and then Faithful J in the chat says, I thought Bale was doing Thor. He is filming Thor at the moment. That's not a very easy thing to say. And he's out in Australia. But the thing is that this Flash film will start shooting in August. Now, a lot of people have said it's shooting already. It's not. It's not shooting at the moment. It will start shooting in August. The film that's shooting at the moment is Black Adam. Black Adam is shooting at the moment, and that's actually been shooting now for a week, I think, almost. So they still have time. They would still have time for him to finish his shoot in Australia and then come in and do that. And I honestly think it would only be a relatively small cameo anyway, even. I'm pretty sure Michael Keaton's role in the film is actually smaller than we're led to believe. I'm also pretty sure that Ben Affleck's role in the film is pretty small as well, like literally a cameo appearance, and that's it. So it's not going to be like, I actually think Michael Keaton will do it because he's obviously signed something. Because it was reported in, like, I think it was Variety or Deadline. One of the main trades were the ones that came out with that, saying that he's been cast in it. So I think it might be a bit tricky for him to turn around and say, actually, I mean, I suppose if it's health reasons, if he's worried about COVID, then it's fair enough. But they'd make it a very safe set. I'm pretty sure they would anyway. Yeah. I mean,
I can't believe they wouldn't. I'm sorry, man.
No, go
I
ahead.
can't believe they wouldn't just set up a green screen at his place or something, you know, like Zack Snyder used to do in his backyard. It's, you know.
Yeah. It's something they could definitely do, to be honest. But then again, they probably would want him there just to make it bit easier maybe and a bit more believable. Like, that's one thing that I would say about that final sequence in Zack Snyder's Justice League. You could tell that Ezra Miller wasn't present. Like, you could tell that was green screen. There were, I mean, you can tell it was it was done well. It was done very well. But you can just, when you watch it again, you can just tell there are certain elements of that scene that are, they look a bit weird. And I suppose it's because of that, because they had to use different kind of green screen techniques to get that to work. Kudos that they managed to do it. They managed to pull it off in the end. But there is a bit of that going on. So, I mean, this is just one of the stories that's going around. Again, you do have to take it with a pinch of salt because it's coming from sources that people that tend to say a lot of stuff. Let's just keep it at that. So again, I mean, if it were to happen, there is also the fact that Christian Bale did say he wouldn't come back as Batman if Christopher Nolan wouldn't say yes. Like, he had to have Christopher Nolan's blessing, and I don't think Christopher Nolan at the moment would give him his blessing, given what's happened with Warner Brothers recently, which is a bit of a shame. But you know, who knows? Who knows? One of the other bits of news, so I'm going through all of the bits of news today, is that this one's a bit funny. HBO Max's Casey Blois has been blocking Snyderverse fans on Twitter. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen that. I heard something about it yesterday, I think on another stream, but yeah, I can't blame him. It's a tough it's a tough world out there, man. I can't blame him. It's a passionate fan base. You were talking about worried about covering this topic too much, you know what I mean? Like, but it's hard to sit here and watch what's going on and not be like, what the F is going on? You know what I mean? It's hard not to say something, and everyone on the internet feels the same way. So that guy's just getting killed, I'm sure, you know? Yeah. So.
But that's the thing that I mean, again, I did the story because I was talking about it with Sil. And Sil was the one that brought it up to me, actually, and saying, look, this is happening. Casey Blois is blocking these fans. And also, it was blocking people that weren't really saying anything that, like, outrageous. They were literally just saying, we're going to cancel our subscription to HBO Max. So I suppose in his head, he's like, if they're not going to be subscribed to us anyway, why bother, you know, listening to them or having them on my Twitter feed? I suppose that's why he did it.
It's just got to get old. The rumors of the Civil War, the actual Civil War that's going on, and all that. It's got to get old for these guys. You know what I mean? And everybody's just trying to get credit and do what makes them advance in their career. And you know, so it's like you're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't.
And I do think that moving forward, there's.
There he is. There's Hamada himself. But honestly, I mean, it's not a good look. Let's just leave it at that. It's not a good look because you can see if you've been blocked or not on Twitter. And I wonder whether he knew that. I wonder whether he didn't realize that blocking people, they could actually know they would know they were blocked. I don't know.
What they should do is just shut the F up, you know what I mean? And not be doing anything on social media. It's like everybody hang out and you know, Hamada, you're the guy. Go talk about this stuff. You know what I mean? And have your one guy that talks about it instead of like, the left hand isn't talking to the right on a lot of things, and there's a lot of confusing messages out there. So I don't know. They should just have one guy whose job is to do this, and maybe they need since everybody's competing on we want to advance HBO Max, and you got to and we don't want to mess up our planned out storyline and all these things. They need somebody at AT&T to just be like, okay, kids. This is the guy that does all the talking, and we approve everything. That's what they should do. So,
wish I held onto a little piece of that thing, because the buzz is any indicator, that movie's gonna make some huge bank.
What buzz?
The internet buzz.
What the fuck is the internet?
So true. Well, that's what they're like. And honestly, you are completely right. It's like that person should be Walter Hamada. The person that's talking about DC stuff, it should be Walter Hamada, but he's not, which is the thing that's really weird. Like, honestly, fans shouldn't even know who Casey Blois and Jason Keeler are. They shouldn't know Ansonov's name. They should only know the person that is in charge of this and putting this forward. That should be Walter Hamada. So the whole way it's done, that the hierarchy there, the way it's still very much an old school studio, it is just so irritating. And this just makes it worse, because this is like, dude, this is social media. People can see what you're doing. So just don't do it. Literally the best thing to do is just shut up. Exactly. And not do this sort of thing, because it's just making it worse. And
Casey Blois, the content officer for HBO Max. Who doesn't know that? I mean,
you're fired. Every single guy in the Snyderverse community knows who he is. It's crazy. It's like, can you name the chief content officer at Netflix? No. No one can. Can you name the chief content officer at Disney Plus? Fuck no. It's like, no, you can't. Sorry, you can't. No, don't bring that in, Clint. You can't stop. Actually,
Feige. It's Feige, right?
Well,
that's the only name anybody is known for forever is Feige.
Exactly.
You're a funny guy, Sully.
Raj says it's short-sighted for Blois. People can always resubscribe, and even for those cancelling HBO Max, watching Zack Snyder's Justice League will have an effect. This is all reactionary and emotional. You're right, Raj. It really is, and I think that's the lesson we've all learned, is that Warner Brothers, they're a very emotional studio. They really don't like.
Yeah.
Dan Zig asks, what's Clint's opinion on continuing the Snyderverse? Wow, we're really getting into the weeds now.
Ooh, now here we go. I think they should do it. I think they should do it on HBO Max. I think they should do it. And I've been laughing about this whole mess the whole time, because I was on Columbia Records, and I've seen this thing before. I've seen people say, "Hey, look at this band. This is a Blink-182. We need one of those. We need our own version." And then they just throw something out, and they don't plan it. They don't build up and that's what they did with a lot of this stuff. And they put parameters on that were unreasonable on how to make the first, Man of Steel and all these movies. And pretty much they crippled themselves. Like, they should have spent years building up the whole thing the way that Marvel did, and they would have had a story that they could have told in a reasonable amount of time. I think it's silly to not continue such a great story. And I have my best friend, he's not even a comic book guy, and he messaged me. He's like, "Dude, I've watched that movie twice, and it's a long movie." And he's like, "It's fantastic." And it is. And I think it's a shame that there's so much drama going on, that they're going to have problems doing this in a reasonable way. But it's like you said the other day, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Some focus group might say something, some poll or something, and then we're like, "Hey, we're scrapping everything and we're going to do the Snyderverse. This is the new." We have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Very, very well said, and I completely agree with you. Unfortunately, I'm coming more and more down on the side that I don't think they're going to continue it. And the reason being is it's become so personal for
you. Lie.
And no, mate, I'm not lying. And
you're fired.
I'm not fired from. Shut up. This is James, because he really hates me saying this. But this is the thing.
The hell with you.
It's a reasonable thing to say, though. It
you
is.
Lie.
because if it succeeds somewhere else, the guys who decided to not release it in the first place look like dummies, and so they're not going to do that. And then they made their plans, and now you can really tell because they canceled The Trench and New Gods. They canceled those, and because they said, hey, we can't screw up anymore. We got to just put out the good stuff. We can't take any risks, and I'm sure money's a factor too. But it's, I don't know, it's funny to watch.
It's funny and also really upsetting because Warner Brothers was one of my. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. They made some of my favorite movies of all time. You lie. And I'm not lying about that, man. they made Blade Runner. I mean, it's one of my favorite films ever. So it's and Blade Runner 2049 is fantastic. So there are lots of, and they were a film studio that were very much focused for years on filmmakers. I mean, literally all the Christopher Nolan films were done under Warner Brothers, their banner there. And it seems as though it's going the other way now. It's very much going more towards data. It's like a data-driven company. It's a money-driven company, which, yes, of course, money is a huge incentive in this industry. It always will be, always has been. But now more than ever, especially with the pandemic, it seems as though they're really, really bringing in the spending, reining in the spending, and just focusing on things that they think are winners, like genuine, again, a win-win situation. All that they care about now is doing films that they think will make the most money and will and it's really not, they're not looking at the long-term gains at all. They're just thinking of the short-term gains.
The more you see the revenue and profits coming in, the less profits you see coming in, the less money, and no movies in the theater making them that money. That's when you start panicking and making stupid decisions. And I watched it happen with the music industry. When CDs started dying and everything started going to streaming, and people quit buying CDs, that's when the music industry started doing all kinds of knee-jerk reactions and copying other things and just bad stuff. And they were too cheap to support a lot of things that they should have. It creates a lot of errors when you panic, and that's what's happening. I believe is they're looking at the numbers and they're saying, "Oh crap, we don't have enough money to do things we want to do. How do we do this?" Also, my bonus, So
exactly, I think there's a lot of that going on as well. Sassafras asks, he says, "I can't tell if the Zack Snyder trilogy trailer is a way of saying it's done or it's coming." Sassafras, that's saying it's done, and I think that's literally now HBO Max just saying, okay, let's move on. The fact that they released that trailer, to me anyway, indicates that for them at the moment, as it stands, the Snyderverse is done and they're going to move on. And it's upsetting. That was really upsetting when I saw that. I was that really, to me, that means that now that HBO Max is saying this in a trailer, because let's be honest, Zack Snyder's movies, they were never intended to be a trailer. A trilogy. It was going to be, he was going to have a Justice League Part 2, and there were talks of Justice League 3 and 4, and this was going to go on for some time. Those were the plans anyway. Now they don't have anyone like Zack Snyder involved anymore that's got a plan for the DC Comics films. Now it's very much one movie here, one movie there. Let's hope for the best. Let's hope that this film will make money. And Sarnoff was talking about interconnected universes and she threw out the word multiverse. I'm pretty sure she doesn't know what that means. But and I think moving forward, they're looking at making more TV shows, and the very first of those will be Peacemaker for them, like the one that they're really hoping will kind of be interconnected with the movie, and then the people watch the movie and then want to watch the series, and then that'll bring more people over to HBO Max. Ultimately, HBO Max at the moment is in such a bad way because it's not available worldwide, and there's a stagnation point for them. There's only a certain amount of people they can get subscribed to it because it's only in a certain number of territories. Now, until it becomes available in Europe, in Africa, they've got HBO Go in Asia, a version of it, but it's not everywhere. But it really needs to be as ubiquitous as it is in as Netflix is. Like Netflix is available basically everywhere. I'm not sure if it's available in China, actually. I haven't checked that. I don't think it is. Disney Plus is the same. It's available in most territories, and Amazon Prime is available everywhere as well. So it's just they're kind of fighting a losing battle at the moment. And until they can get that stuff sorted out, then I'm not sure what's going to happen with the future of the DC Comics films. I really hope they continue the Snyderverse. To me, it makes the most sense to lean on that. There's also, they obviously thinking it's too expensive, and we're going to have to wait and see what happens. At the moment, I'm more like I was kind of 60-40% thinking that the Snyderverse was going to continue. Now I'm more leaning the other way, but there's always hope, and there's hope in
you lie.
Yeah, there's hope in Dwayne Johnson. There's always hope in Dwayne Johnson.
The biggest casualty of that, I think, is not having more Batman Ben Affleck stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a huge thing. If they'd have done a show on HBO Max, it would have been amazing. I remember kind of rolling my eyes and my buddy Dirk talking smack when they cast Ben Affleck. We actually did a funny bit about Dirk calling back from the future, and dude, you're not gonna believe it. You know, Ben Affleck got cast, and also Doritos Tacos Locos is delicious. But and yeah, we did this bit, and I was like, I don't know how this is gonna work out. And then when I saw him, he's perfect, dude. He's my favorite. Like, he's awesome. I don't know. He did a great job. I think he got crapped on a lot, and I think that's unfortunate. And we're not going to get any more of that, so that sucks. So
that does suck. We will get him one more. Yeah, there is some serious bat thirst going on. We will get him one more time in the Flash, and maybe should Zack Snyder be brought back to do the Snyderverse, to continue the Snyderverse, then I'm pretty sure Ben Affleck will come back to work with Zack. That's very much they're very much kind of a pair there, and they like working together, and they would like to work together again in the future. Dan Zig asks about he talks about Justice Con, which is this weekend. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to see what happens there, what's said there. Incidentally, Zack did a pretty interesting interview actually with I know James doesn't like me mentioning other people.
No, you can mention her. That's fine. Just don't do any imitating voice or like put her down. That's all. I was prepared for this. I was waiting before the show started. I'm like, okay, this is my response to it.
Yeah, she did a very good interview with Zack today, and in that he was talking about how the fans and how great they are, and how much he appreciates them, and how actually the fans wanted to see a kind of rawer film, a film that makes them think, a film that really challenges them, and how movie studio execs just want a film that's kind of completely smooth, no roughness to it, completely like with kind of a polished turd basically of a film was what they wanted, which they ended up delivering in Justice League. You know, it was, you know, that was what they did. And it was actually, he is so candid in his interviews, and that's one thing I really like about. He's so open and honest, and you really do see that he tries to be as he tries to say as much as he can without giving too much away. I think you can see that as well with Zack, and I'm really looking forward to this. Are you going to be watching this weekend, the Justice Con?
I don't know. I've got a crazy busy weekend this weekend. I don't know I'd love to. I'd like to cancel everything, order some pizza, and hang out. And
yeah.
But yeah, I got a pretty busy weekend, so I think I'm gonna miss it.
That's well. You'll see. So that's a great clip. That is such a good. Taste of London is fantastic.
Have you seen the Army of the Dead trailer?
Yes.
I watched it for the first time last night. It's awesome. I can't wait for it to come out, and I'm like, I feel like if the numbers are really big on that, streaming numbers, I feel like that might give Snyder a little more clout and be like, hey, this guy's winning. What, you know? Yeah. So.
Yeah. No, well, I already know for a fact that people at Netflix are just in love with this film, and really think this film's going to do well. It was trending. I think it was number one, the trailer on YouTube for a while, for a couple of days, over 24 hours, which is kind of unheard of on YouTube for a video to be trending that long at number one. And the trailer's brilliant. It's got is it a lion? No, a tiger. A
tiger, zombie tiger.
A zombie tiger in it. Brilliant.
That's my new band name right there.
Yeah. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go watch it.
It's fantastic.
It's fantastic. It really is fantastic.
I was rolling my eyes like, oh, another zombie thing, and yeah, after I saw it, I was like, let's go. When does this thing come out? I'm ready.
Yeah.
So.
It's 21st of May, I think, is coming out.
It's 21st of May, exactly.
Yes, it's pretty soon, and I really do think this film is gonna. Yeah, you're right. It's gonna give Zack that. I mean, already Zack Snyder's Justice League has given him a lot of clout. People, literally, like critics that hated BVS and hated Justice League, loved this film, and I'm one of them. I didn't hate. I won't say I hated BVS, but I really did not like Justice League. I think Justice League was a pile of crap, and BVS I had problems with. I wasn't like a massive fan of it, and I haven't watched.
Get out! And dude, a thing I don't think a lot of people understand either, though, is that the Justice League. I wouldn't even say it's Joss Whedon's fault. I'm sure there's a lot of other things in the world that are his fault, but I think that the Warner Brothers execs crippled him. It's like you tell somebody you only have 2 hours to tell a story. You do the best you can, and I've seen that in my own personal life where like, hey, write a hit song for the radio, and they like, hey, it's too long, hey, this and that, and it's
2
like
minutes, 2 minutes 30 seconds, isn't it?
Yeah, and you're like, dude, what songs have you written, and what films have you done? It's like it's just let the artists do the thing and let the business people go count beans somewhere, and I think the world would be a better place. So, and
you are right, and people are agreeing with you in the comments. Raj saying Army of the Dead looks sick.
I released a video that said that. It's like it's not Joss Whedon versus Snyder. It's them versus Warner Brothers. So they both did the best they could. So anyway.
I mean, there was an element of that, and the 2 hours thing is so weird that Warner Brothers came up with, like the fact that all their films had to be under 2 hours. It's just mad. Like Marvel films aren't under 2 hours. Why did Warner Brothers have to do that? That was a very strange decision.
We'll get more viewings in the theater. We're going to increase our revenue by 15%. It's going to be amazing. That's why.
Exactly. They're literally now a company controlled by accountants.
Yes,
who
exactly.
are just trying to find any way to fiddle the market so they can make a tiny bit more money. Honestly, guys, like one of the most successful, profitable movies of all time is Avengers Endgame, and that film is a long film. So Marvel wasn't going, maybe we should make it 2 hours so we can get more people into the theaters. No, they didn't care about that.
And like you said the other day, one of the other most profitable movies is The Joker, and they didn't even want to make that one. Yeah, let's people give you some art. Let's give the world some art, and they'll buy it up.
Ultimately, Warner Brothers just doesn't have a clue.
Yeah, that's we should start a side channel that's just about that. So we don't get pigeonholed because I've run this topic into the ground,
Yeah.
But who seems to have it together is Netflix. I'm watching all the money that they're spending, and they like refuse to be buried in the streaming wars. And you look at what everybody's doing, and Netflix is like, well, yeah, we're going down swinging. And so now, now with the Sony deal and and the Knives Out deal and all that, it's like, dude, it's like it's crazy.
They're being very clever with where they're spending their money. I mean, $1 billion. That was $1 billion deal they did with Sony, which is an insane amount of money, really, if you think about it. Just so that they can get their films on their streaming service first, and it's Sony movies. So I was a bit like, okay, so what you want? Venom 2, Morbius, the Spider-Man films. Okay, so basically, this is a deal for the Spider-Man movies. That's what they're saying, and
pretty much.
I really think that a lot of this is Spider-Man for them. It's that's what they paid for.
If you don't have a comic book hero on your platform, you're Apple Plus or Paramount. You know what I mean? It's like,
what's Paramount one called again? Is it Peacock? It's such a terrible name.
So Army of the Dead is basically zombie film, bank heist, and Mad Max rolled into one.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
But this is very much Zack Snyder going back to his roots. Yeah, it's like
you're Quibi if you don't have a comic book. thing.
Did Quibi not have a comic book thing? I
don't
thought they
think
might
so.
have done. Probably. Yeah, that was weird.
They're gone.
Yeah, they're
Rip.
gone. But like you're right. Netflix is really looking at this differently now. They don't want to be licensing. Sorry, the Matt Berry thing gets me every time. That if you, I mean, do you know Toast of London? Do you know Matt Berry?
I do not.
You do not. Well, you got to watch Toast of London. He's brilliant. He's brilliant in that. He's also in What We Do in the Shadows, the series, not the movie.
You and he were buddies, weren't you?
Once.
Listen, when I first joined this hospital, I was strictly solo. You were the first real buddy I ever had. But if you and he wish to be best buddies again, I won't stand in your way.
I've got a best buddy, Sanj. But some shit sticks, no matter how hard you scrape. Hang back.
You got it.
In a world that is constantly consumed by war, between insiders and scoopers battling on Twitter like little kids in a schoolyard, there is one team that can bring hope. A team that doesn't partake in petty rivalry. A team that sets their egos aside to bring you the scoops they get. A team that fights for enjoying the moment, not the flames of war. That team is
Super Team Megaforce!
No.
James, I think you've lost it, man.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. And I want to have them answered immediately.
Okay, this is him asking us to move on. I think he wants you guys in the chat, in the comments, to give us your questions, and hopefully we will answer them to the best of our ability. The AT&T shareholder meeting next week should be interesting. Yes, that's the 22nd of April. So is it? No, it's not next week. Is it 22nd next week? Oh God, it is. April's gone around fast. Yeah, so that's coming out next week. Hey guys, do you think? So this is Tuzlani. Hey guys, do you think Army of the Dead has the potential to be the most streamed movie in 2021 because Zach has an international cast? Yes. Simple answer. I actually think it will be. I think it will be the most streamed movie of this year. Raj says Netflix has DC's Lucifer. How possible would it be that they try at least to bid for DC Films rights? Okay, no, that's not possible. But what they are doing, which is very interesting, and actually I don't know how they pulled this one off, is that Netflix has not only the rights to Lucifer, so they're making a 6th season as well. So we've got season 5 part 2 coming out next, and then season 6, and that'll be the last one. But then we also have The Sandman, which is coming out on Netflix, and I think The Sandman is going to be huge. I think that show is going to be massive, and I think they're doing it right because they got Neil Gaiman directly involved with to Neil Gaiman. They've got Neil Gaiman. He's a producer. He's very much involved. They're doing it right, and I just find it really weird that they're the ones that have Sandman, and bloody Warner Brothers let that go. It's insane. Sandman is one of the best.
Is that true?
What do you think?
It doesn't surprise me at all. That's all I can say about it.
I honestly think Netflix must have been like, really? You'll let us have this one? like, have you read the comics? Oh man, it's just honestly, you could not write this shit if you tried. Like the stuff that they've been doing with their TV, especially, is just so maddening because they've got all this stuff on the CW, which is their channel, and they do the DC stuff there, and it's very. It's its thing. It's its own thing. It does pretty well over there. I mean, it's been doing less well recently because it's been going for years now.
Yeah.
And then they think, okay, what can we do next? Well, we got this DC Universe thing, which just fell completely flat on its face. But through that, they somehow managed to get a pretty decent show in what's it called? Doom Patrol was pretty good.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Teen Titans is crap. But Doom Patrol is good. They luck out all the time with those sorts of things. And
Superman and Lois is pretty good. I've been watching that, and that's good.
Yeah. But that's good. But then that's the thing
Let me
about
ask
it.
you,
Very bitty.
Clint, sorry. Let me ask you, Clint, about Superman Lois. Are they still doing the "I love you, Dad, hate you, Dad" thing?
Not as
I watched
much.
the 2 episodes.
They're not quite as angry at Dad. They're starting to come to terms. They're still having their conflicts and whatnot, but it's not really very much against Dad. They kind of figured out, okay, this is life, and now they're kind of moving on to the conflicts that Superman's having is balancing his family life with his superhero life and having to be 3 places at the same time. And so
it didn't get grating. It's not like monotonous.
No, it's good. I mean, there's a little bit of that. You know, it's one week Junior's mad at Dad. Next week Junior's mad at his twin brother. You know, there's a little bit of that of that drama. You know, that CW drama, but it's good. It's better than a lot of those movies that they put out or shows that they put out on the CW in a long time. And I used to love Arrow and Flash. I used to watch those all the time.
Yeah,
I still need to watch the last season of Flash.
Hey, Eddie.
Hey, Mikey, how you
So
doing?
that's what eating a Hamada burger looks like, huh?
Yeah.
What's up, Mikey?
It looks delicious.
Hey, how you doing? Good to meet you.
Good to meet you, man.
I heard you guys are having an hour, so I decided to join up and talk, do all the Hour Man discussion.
We're not. No, we were answering some questions from in the chat, but we were also talking about recent Doom Patrol and Titans. Like Tislani says, are Titans and Doom Patrol strong enough to compete against Falcon and Falcon and the Winter Soldier and WandaVision? No.
No.
Yeah, they're not. They're not. They're I mean, the only one out of those 2 DC ones to continue with is Doom Patrol. Titans is just it's gone weird and not very good. And WandaVision is I liked it, and I think Falcon and Winter Soldier is only getting better. And then I'll let you guys answer that question as well. I'm just answering.
I think apples and oranges because
the
Marvel shows have Avengers in there. I mean, it's much bigger audience, you know. And most people have never heard of Doom Patrol, and you know they're adapting the Grant Morrison run from the early '90s, late '80s, which is even more obscure. Which actually, a little trivia: I had a letter published in Doom Patrol back in '92, raving about Grant Morrison. So I have a little closeness attachment to that franchise.
Yeah.
And I'm friends with Richard Case, the illustrator. He's really happy with the way they adapted that run, but it's just too obscure, you know.
It's quite obscure, the show, I think, and it can be a bit difficult, I think, for people that aren't really like comic book fans to get into. I think that show. I think that's probably
once you get the donkey, you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's very weird. It's very weird.
The casting is so good in that show.
All
the characters are fantastic. Yeah.
And
great Cyborg in there too.
Oh, Cyborg's great in there.
Yeah.
Tutelani says one final question. You can bring that back up, James. Can you bring that up? No, that's the next one. Final question: if Army of the Dead is a success, is a success, will it force HBO Max to give Zack Snyder whatever he wants? No, it won't, because what it will do is it won't force Netflix, but it will make Netflix want Zack Snyder more. And then this goes into this. Raj says, heard Netflix wants Snyder under an exclusivity deal. How would it work if HBO Max decided to grovel and beg Snyder to come back? I wonder where you read that, Raj. it was a small screen exclusive.
Sounds familiar.
They want him. Then they offered him the exclusivity deal, and he turned them down. And he also turned down HBO. HBO are trying to get him. And this is all kind of fallen flat, really. The one, honestly, the only way I see this happening, like the Snyderverse happening, is if HBO Max offers him a heck of a lot of money. But then again, at the moment, the way the money issues are, especially at Warner Brothers, I don't see that happening. So we're just going to have to wait and see on that one. Like the Army of the Dead doing well on Netflix only really bolsters his position, his own personal position, and then his position at Netflix as well. Again, I'm not even sure if he'd want to work with Warner Brothers after this, the way they've treated him. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, yeah, there are apparently somebody quite big who is courting Zach right now. So that's
inside Warner Brothers.
No, outside of Warner and.
He's going very quiet.
because I know James is sitting in his chair like Mike.
What?
I'm gonna stream later. I'm gonna be like, "Hey, Mikey said."
I know it. He's gonna show up. I know it. He's keeping.
Are you gonna write this tonight?
Yeah, I will. So it just look. Zach's stock is rising.
Shut up!
Yeah.
Shut up! Shut up!
HBO Max.
What we're okay, Clint. We got to read in between the lines here. What Mikey is saying is someone quite big is courting Zach.
Well, they're
at Warner Brothers.
They haven't delivered the flowers yet, but they're texting.
Oh my God, I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking.
Was that enough? Get out!
Kevin Feige. Sorry. What?
See, just Zach put himself on Tinder.
Kevin Feige.
He is.
Anyway, enough about our balls.
This might be one of those. They haven't said anything. They just had a meeting. They just talked like things.
Wow. What can I say?
And Zach's not the only one. But anyway, let's just say the next couple of months will be very, very interesting. Mainly for you and I, because we're going crazy on the coverage for all of this.
Yeah. If
things will never be the same.
They will.
And still be confused. He'll be like drinking bourbon somewhere. Like, what's going on?
Still will be like, if that happens, still will be like, wait. I do Marvel shit now.
Still like, should I be happy or should I not be happy? You're the most confused YouTuber of all time. You know, like, how should I feel about this? You know.
Did you just say that Zack Snyder's going to do the Wolverine movie? Is that what's happening? He's doing Patch. Zack Snyder's Patch.
I think it's going to be
Zack
Snyder's Elektra.
Oh, there's James.
I'm about to end the stream now.
Yeah, this is what James is always worried about when Mikey comes on. He's like, Ed, don't push him too much because you will
Come
get
on, just fucking Mikey.
You know, when I met Tom Holland a few years ago, I said, "Do you have any spoilers?"
name
for me?
drop. Sorry,
laughing.
name drop. When I met Tom Holland, go on.
He was busting up, man. And that's before the Spider-Man scoop that everybody knew me for. It was funny how we met like a year before that. Anyway, it's gonna get interesting. Let's say Zach's relationship status right now is complicated.
Okay, you're desperately you're trying hard not to talk anymore. I know that because you've already said too much.
I'm trying really hard.
I can see
extraordinary consequences.
That's why I don't go on videos. My face is turning red right now from holding this in. I'm going to be accused of being Mephisto in a minute here. If I show.
And I do think that moving forward,
I could see James in the
oh, he's twitching right now.
He's going mad. He's going insane. I don't envy you. I really don't envy you, Mikey. After this. Hey, but come on, we help each other out.
Let's say if you had like the biggest piece of news in the world, but you can't say anything, right? It's just actually, I have another. Oh my god, I got a huge one tomorrow, but I get that.
Okay, this is being safe. It's Super Team Megaforce. So we've basically ruined that Super Team
definitely
Megaforce
both of them
tomorrow
are.
night.
Yeah. So,
and that's why James is so pissed off. No, but actually, what I know that if it does feel like.
Anyway.
Anyway. Oh man.
Nothing to do with Wolverine. So nothing to do with Wolverine. At least anyway.
Lots of people.
Zack Snyder's Mephisto.
Although, like, how perfect would that be, right? Zack Snyder's Mephisto.
Well, he has
Lord
spoken
of
about one particular character, hasn't he, that he'd love to do? But let's not go into that anymore.
Let's not go yet. Let's not go yet.
Yeah, that news is out there though.
I shouldn't even hint at it.
Hey, for the record, I don't think they'll ever introduce Mephisto, like for real Mephisto, because I've heard China.
China,
yeah, I think so.
China.
Well, I heard that they could make hell a dark dimension, like a dark, not hell, but as a dark. They can pull it off that way.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't look demonic though. I mean,
it'll be
Al Pacino.
It'll be Mephisto in all but name, basically.
Yeah,
They'll
exactly.
Use that character like they do. The MCU does this all the time. They kind of retrofit characters from the comics to kind of fit the MCU and be in keeping with it. I mean, there are loads of characters you can think of that are in the MCU that are based on comic book characters, and they're not exactly like them. They even have the same name. They just kind of name drop them sometimes. So it's what they do.
You just call him Ralph Boner,
Yeah. Oh, dude, that won't.
No.
Right. Do we have any more comments, questions that we want to answer? Hamada ice cream. They are being added to the menu. I don't know, James. Do you have the video of the Hamada burger mug or not? Just give me a nod or a shake of the head. No, he doesn't give me anything. That's all you got.
What do you guys think of the original New God script that was leaked today?
I haven't seen it yet.
I woke up this morning. That's the first thing I got in my email was Phil. New God script leaked. I'm like, what?
Have you read it?
Tied. No, I haven't read it yet. But there's only part of it was leaked. But apparently, it does tie in with the Snyderverse, and
really,
wow. And we completely destroyed that and went on to Ava's version, which had nothing to do with the Snyderverse. But from what I saw on YouTube this morning, it's kind of
this was the original one, right? Before Ava came
original,
in.
2016.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was connected to the Snyderverse. I thought you were talking about the Ava DuVernay one. That one.
Oh no, I don't think. Was there even a
This just came this morning. Completely broken. Don't use Teespring.
Yeah, that's.
Did Ava and Tom King even finish the script, or they just kept rewriting it? I mean, what we don't even know what was done.
Well, they were writing they were trying to get it done, but I don't think they could ever crack it. Really, it's the same kind of similar case as the Batfleck film. They were just writing it for years, never managed to get it done. I mean, it's a shame, really, because Tom King is such a good comic writer. I forgot one of the ones he did the other day. Because we were talking about Tom King before and talking about which comics he did. And are you done? He did. He might pull a gun. Who knows? Yeah, I was.
I never. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Yeah. I was.
Hey.
And then see that. That's what Hamada is hoping for when the new films come out. You to chomp on it like that, like a delicious Hamada burger,
and a broken
Hamada burger.
He's cutting everyone off.
But no way in hell am I writing about hour. I just can't do it. I can't do it.
Well, it'll take you more than an hour. If it takes you more than an hour to write about Iron Man, don't bother. Seriously.
I figured tomorrow I'll just talk about it on Super Team Mega Force. I'm not gonna write about. Who wants to read that? But
yeah, Walter.
Spoiler alert! It sounds horrible.
Wow.
No, it's worse than you ever imagined.
I was trying to talk about fucking Tom King at one point, but now I forgot. Yeah, he wrote the Vision. He wrote the Vision comics, and they're good.
Anyway, enough about our balls.
I'm almost done with my revenge quips.
Yeah, well, he is someone that you don't want to piss
Warner
off.
Brothers meeting.
Yeah, this is what it's like.
Right?
Yeah, this is what it's.
it's like, fuck it, you know.
Yeah, mine's longer than yours. Well,
Basically, what his clips do is extend this show by an hour. Without his clips, this show would be like 20 minutes long. And then,
So that's Jesus, is that true?
It's genius.
Right. So Raj, okay, we've got a question. Let's address this.
I heard the word confused.
Raj is confused about this. Is the OG New Gods tied with the Snyderverse? Why cancel the Ava DuVernay New Gods for not being tied to the Snyderverse? Are they open to the OG New Gods again? What the fuck? Mikey, you go.
Okay. They canceled the New Gods. Oh god, it get more confusing. They canceled the New Gods because they don't want people to be confused that this isn't the New Gods or this isn't Darkseid from the Snyder Cut. And I think it's obvious because after all, the Snyderverse will no longer exist, and they feel that the audiences will be like, "Hey, how wasn't this guy in the Snyder Cut? Why is he different here?" And that's their main reason why AT&T shut it down. And the second reason they shut it down is that a New Gods not attached to the Snyder Cut financially makes no sense. You want something that will be attached to a popular property. Instead, you're going to spin it off into something that has no attachment to it. It makes no sense financially. Like, Marvel would never do something like that.
Yeah.
But again, egos, and Hamada felt, yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, Hamada felt that the property itself didn't need the Snyder Cut to become huge. He thought it would be his Eternals because he's been hearing all this talk about Eternals, even though no one's seen the trailer yet. But he's heard all the discussions about it, the buzz coming from Disney about it, and he's like, well, why can't we have something like this? And with Ava involved, he really felt this was going to be his Oscar-winning, Gone with the Wind, blockbuster. But AT&T's like, we're not going to spend, all that hundreds of millions of dollars on this when it has nothing to do with Snyder Cut, which would get people in the door to begin with. So no, we're not doing it. And it's too much money, and so that's how it all went down.
And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing.
It's Captain America says it.
It's like that Ann Saranoff interview where she's like, yeah, we want to have a more cohesive universe, but also we're going to do random stuff. You know what I mean? It's just so like, dude, get it together. I think they just don't want to fail. They don't. I think they're scared to spend the money and then have failures. So they're like, you know what? We're not going to roll the dice on these iffy things. We're going to do where's the next? Let's do the next Wonder Woman. Let's get on with the money makers.
Yeah, people like that film, right? They like Wonder Woman 1984. Let's get another one out.
I heard from one insider. He said that people only gave a shit about New Gods when Snyder was involved, because they love Snyder so much. Otherwise, New Gods can't even carry their own title.
No.
Even the comic book fans don't buy this New Gods, But if you have Snyder involved, oh yeah, wow, New Gods, Darkseid, Whereas Eternals, it'll be a hit because it's Marvel Studios. It's you like when you like them all type of thing. You have all those.
I mean,
you have all the acting talent in there.
It's got so much pedigree behind that film. It's
exactly.
You look at the cast alone, but then you've got literally now the to paraphrase what's his face in Zoolander. She's just so hard right now. It's Chloe Zhao, the director of Nomadland, who's literally winning every single award out there.
Oh yeah.
And then you've got people inside Marvel saying this is the best film we've ever made. This film is Oscar worthy. That she's done. Like it sounds like this film's going to be bloody amazing. Now, I've always been a bit like,
I've been hearing that too.
I've always been a bit cautious about that sort of stuff. Like people internally going, "Oh, our film's really good." It's like, okay, all right, guys, fine, we believe you.
What I'm hearing is on a different level than what you've normally seen in the MCU. I'm hearing Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, like before it started to fall. Type of discussions about it. They're really high on this movie. I'm bringing the goods today, Ed. I got something to share with you.
Yeah.
Because I don't really gossip on Gigosity as much. I scoop, I don't really gossip. I save the gossip for the YouTube channels.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing that, and seems to be a growing feeling, that AT&T is kind of losing faith in Hamada's decision making.
Okay,
And
that's to be expected.
projects going forward with New Gods and The Trench, a big part of that.
Yeah.
They're kind of losing faith in his ability to create big hits. And so they're looking at the projects they have coming up. Our Man, Zatanna, Supergirl. And they're like, is this what we really want to do?
Yeah.
And so there's some skepticism there, and it's growing. And he's a big concern because he doesn't want to obviously lose his job. I don't think he's going to be there for very much longer. I really don't see it. I mean, the Batman has to be massive. It has to be on a Christopher Nolan level success. I don't think he is going to be able to stick around. If that and the Flash fail, holy shit, heads are going to roll.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if that happens, then there will be people gone. Like this, at the moment, this whole Snyderverse thing, no one's going to be fired because of that. Let's be honest, no one will be, because that was something that's not directly tied to the executives at Warner Brothers. This was very much AT&T stepping in and doing that themselves, basically. What will happen is if I still think that Batman will do very well, but I think it's more the other films that are coming out that are very much tied to Walter Hamada. So Blue Beetle, the Zatanna film. If he's even there when those films eventually come out, that's the other thing. His contract runs out in 2023, so who knows what happens after that and beyond that? Whether these films will actually end up getting made or not, I don't know. Like, I'd love to see a Blue Beetle film. I'd love to see a Zatanna film. I'd even like to see a Calvin Ellis Superman film. Right? That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, and Freddie brings that in. James is like Bumblebee, but talks through random clips. He's so right. That's exactly what James is.
Man, oh, God, I remember that now. So what I'm also hearing is that, oh, man, Snyder fans are going to be really get their fists clenched about this. They're not going to like this at all. And this is in plain sight, and I never even saw it. But I've kind of discussed it in part before. But apparently, the biggest influence on the Hamadaverse going forward is Greg Berlanti. Our Man was not even a thing until they were like, hey, who's this Our Man guy on Stargirl? And so, and of course, I mentioned the Crisis, Infinite Earths being pretty much this why the multiverse happened, was because they watched Crisis. And so that's why you're going to see Supergirl was greenlit because obviously they did a Supergirl show, which ironically was canceled.
Yeah.
But they've been using the Berlanti's success as kind of research and development for upcoming DC films. Why not just put Berlanti in charge then if that's the case? I mean, make a Green Arrow movie.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people have been saying. Like Dan in the comments says that. Why not just give Berlanti Hamada's role? Like that's what a lot of people have been saying. What do you think, Clint? Would you think he'd do well in that role?
I guess. I don't know. I think anybody would do better in that role right now. I hate to be mean. Honestly, even if the guys in there didn't do that badly, which I'm not saying they did or didn't, but I'll say that I think they should just wipe the slate clean and get some new people in there, and you'll end all of the drama. Yeah. There's some talk about in the Star Wars universe about changing people, and I think they should do it. Just shut everyone up, give them who they want in the spot, and then and move forward. When there's big drama like this is concerned, I think Warner Brothers looks really bad right now. And if I was in charge of PR, I would probably make some power moves.
It's like, fuck it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what James thinks about it all. But you are right. It's like the way at the moment there's just way too much drama going on, and the best way to do it is just get rid of the people that are causing that. And I mean, again, it probably won't happen because they're a very old school studio, and they don't really want to change their I mean, Warner Brothers specifically don't really want to go, okay, let's be a bit different, let's try something different. No, they're still going to hire the same sort of people in those roles. They're not going to change that. They're not. I mean, even though they want a more like Marvel-esque formula, they're not going to go down that route, and they're kind of still a bit. Warner Brothers specifically seem to be fighting the streaming game at the moment. They don't want to go into it. You know, they're very much being pushed into it, kicking and screaming by AT&T. So there's that going on as well at the moment. So who knows? Honestly, at the end of the day, who knows what's going to happen with them? Like,
go over there and hit the fucking like button.
Yeah, exactly, and then do that. And I think that's probably James giving me my cue to end the show here.
Yes.
Yeah, because we've been going on for almost 2 hours now, and these shows are only supposed So I'd like to say thank you so much to you, Clint, for coming on the show. It's really lovely having you on the show. Where can people find you?
Oh, you can find me on YouTube, the Black Shirt Podcast. The Black Shirt Podcast. Please check it out. Like me, subscribe me, do all that good stuff. And I'm going to be putting out stuff every Tuesday. We got a bunch of videos already up there.
Awesome.
I'm also doing another. This isn't comic related, but I do another advice show called Answering for a Friend that I'm going to be going on in a couple hours. So at 8 p.m. Central Time. So, but yeah, thank you guys for having me on. Like I said,
nice to meet you. Thank you.
Great to meet you, Mikey. I listen to you guys all the time, and I had a great time today. So,
You're a funny guy, Sally.
Yeah, and yeah, James likes you as well, obviously. That's why I brought you onto the show. But thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. And yeah, do go and check the Black Shirt podcast out. Do you release that as a podcast as well, or is it just on YouTube?
Yeah, we do I do actually the same thing. I do Facebook, YouTube, and an audio. So
yeah, audio podcast. I'll check that out on an audio version as well. That's cool. Where can we find Mikey? We can find you everywhere, can't we?
I'm
Mikey?
everywhere, man. I'm like every single YouTube show now. It's just like,
but yeah, it's geekositymag.com, isn't it?
It's so funny. I was in the chat of some other YouTube show the other night, like, oh my god, Mikey's here, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna ask for a scoop. I know it.
Yeah. And Clint, you've already got Dan Zig going on to check out your channel. He's a very good person to have subscribing to you guys.
Dan Zig is awesome.
Check it out, Dan Zig. Thanks, man.
He's got an Against Me shirt. How cool is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, who knows? Maybe one day I'll turn up on your show. Who knows?
Hey, dude, I'd love to have you, man. Anytime. James, cool. Mikey, all of you guys. I'd love to have all you guys.
Brilliant.
You know he's Captain Britain, right? We all know he's Captain Britain.
I'll come on your show if you let me play my clips.
You can do whatever you want, man.
And yes, we've got James, the producer there. You can find him just on the internet, basically. That's where
he's everywhere as well.
Yeah.
We're basically the Illuminati.
And Titolani saying that you should join, that Clint, you should join their Super Team Megaforce. Yes, well, maybe. We want as many people as we can have. Yeah.
Yeah, you should definitely show up for a guest spot first. Yeah,
I would love to, definitely. Man.
Tomorrow night, we're having a couple other guests too.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people. It's going to be a good one tomorrow night. Right.
This just came this morning. Completely broken. Don't use Teespring.
So Molotov cocktails on the show tomorrow.
Can I do my air horn if I go on the show tomorrow?
Of course. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want.
You wonder.
Dan says, will TV let you on his show, James, to play your clips? No.
Any last guesses to who the cameo on Falcon is tonight? It's going to happen tonight, right? Episode 5.
Yeah, it's going to be Chris Evans. You know what? Russell, Riot, I can't say his fucking name. Wyatt Russell did kind of reveal that.
Yeah.
In an interview with Radio 1.
Yeah,
I watched it.
I'm avoiding that article.
Yeah, I know you are. But I watched
Captain Britain. Captain Britain will be on Pelican tonight as well.
Yeah, okay, there you found it. It's going to be me. There's Captain Britain. That's going to happen.
I'm thinking the tearjerker thing was going to be Isaiah dying. Is what I thought. They're talking about there's going to be a big tearjerker. Like I was thinking about it earlier today, and I said, man, I bet you he's going to see the graphic stuff that happened in the last episode and say, hey, I can't have my blood running through this guy's veins, and feels like responsible. And he's going to. My theory is he's going to go try to stop him and get the crap beat out of him. Maybe get the shield from him because he's still strong, and then he's going to die. We're all going to cry about it, and then on his dying breath, he's going to say, "Falcon, you need to be the next Captain America." And then
I think you've. Did you write this?
I think you're right. I think you're exactly right. I mean, he's going to suit up. Isaiah's going to suit up.
We know that Sam ends up with the shield because that's been in the trailers. So I mean, however, I'm pretty sure that will happen. I'm pretty sure John Walker will get the shield taken off him, probably by Isaiah, and Isaiah will die in the process, and then we'll hand over the shield somehow to Sam.
And then Sam will take his son under his wing, pun intended.
We'll be talking about that tomorrow on Super Team Megaforce. So we will be talking about the Falcon, the Winter Soldier. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for joining and for chatting all things. Man. This show was meant to be about Elon Musk and Amber Heard, but it ended up going in a much different direction. That's great. That's fine. And also, Elon Musk didn't.
Is that true?
Elon didn't take us off. That's good. And the FBI are not coming knocking, and I haven't had any emails from Amber Heard's publicists, so we're all okay at the moment. We're all right.
Don't bullshit me.
Let's end the show.
Enough talk.
By Crom.
Anyway, enough about our balls.